welcome back to The Escape with Nick and Adam, where we talk about entertainment, sci-fi, comics, action figures, pop culture, and everything nerdy. My name's Nick.
Staying alive, motherfucker! And I'm Adam.
Adam coming to you for the Fortress of Adamtude. Adam, we got a little bit to talk about today. And,
you got one thing to talk about, sir.
We got a few, but we're going to kick it off with something that really upset you over the weekend. And it involves one of your favorite things on this planet, Motu.
Yeah, so Spectre Creative is a YouTube channel that showcases a man, or that by a guy named Scott Knightlick, calls himself Scott Toy Guru Knightlick, and he is a wonderful source of how the toy industry, what happens behind the scenes in the toy industry. He talks about things like the cost of tooling. He talks about things things like tool reuse, stuff like that. And then, to his credit, he ran the DC Universe Classics line at Mattel in the aughts, 2000s, whatever you want to call them. And at that time, as a side project, he started Matty Collector, and they began to create what's Masters of the Universe Classics. And it was you had to have a subscription. I think one of their first, I don't know if their first figure was King Grayskull or not, but long story short, it sparked and people got involved. But it was these. I'm not sure if these went to retail. They went to retail later down the road when they were run by Super 7. But initially, you had to have a subscription, and you got your character of the month. One a month would come out. And they have this vast collection now of all of these different figures, from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe to the Snake Men. And they're all a pretty penny on eBay or in the secondary markets when you go to buy them. None of them are cheap. They're beautifully sculpted. So he's somewhat of an expert, long story short. Love the coffee mug. On Masters of the Universe, forward and back. He knows the lore because Masters of the Universe was, in its conception, created at Mattel. It was originally Mattel's thing. So he's got it all on him. He knows everything about them. So he releases this video this weekend where he cites the Masters of the Universe action figures going on clearance at Target and things like that, and how they're not, some of them are peg warmers. Not all of them are peg warmers, and he gets called out on that. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then he says from 3 different sources that he knows within the industry who do not know that he's talking to any one of them. That's what he says. All confirm that Masters of the Universe Origins and Masters of the Universe not classics, but Masterverse, the line that I collect, is done. They're shipping their final products in April, and that's it. And it's all predicated on these rights that Universal is going to have over the product, and that Mattel is losing the rights. Problem is, Mattel has been showing product coming all the way into 2024. And they showed some of this.
There's no way Mattel's given up the He-Man, or even letting it go. That's not.
Well, Universal does own it under all the years. I mean, that's a fact.
Or all the changing of hands over there. Sure.
Yeah, all the changing of hands the property did. This is a property, and again, I learned this fact from Scott Knightlick's channel that at one point, when in its heyday, was outselling Barbie, and that was why the inception of She-Ra came along. It was outselling Barbie. Yeah,
I saw that. I was just watching I was telling you I was watching.
It was in the toy.
And that was one of the big things. Is the people over in the Barbie department were so pissed.
Yeah,
because they were Barbie. They were
making
Barbie.
You don't.
And I don't even think people realize how big Barbie was in the 80s. And to outsell Barbie by a company who didn't even make boy toys, basically.
Mattel and Barbie and He-Man were owned by the same company, so this was
Right.
happening under the same roof.
Yeah. It was interdepartment squabbles. Like,
Yeah, yeah. And on a side note, I don't know if you've seen the Margot Robbie trailer for Barbie, but
no,
Barbie's always been number one through every decade. She's the number one toy, and then Masters of the Universe show up, and little girls are buying it because it's fun and they can play it too. There's adventure.
I think they said 20% of the sales were girls buying He
Yeah,
at its peak.
and I don't remember any little girls when I was a kid, when I was a little boy, any little girls that didn't like He-Man
Right.
and She-Ra, and eventually She-Ra, because I'm old enough to remember when there was no She-Ra.
Right.
It was
Yeah, we
not long, but
well, I would say we were in the sweet spot
yeah.
of that whole thing of 80s Saturday cartoons.
So based on his credibility, when he says this, a lot of people take notice. Now, there's another guy out there. He's a YouTuber. He's a He's the Masters of the Universe super fan. Great guy. His name's Pixel Dan. Somebody,
I love this content.
yep. And somebody messaged him about it. He goes, "I don't even have to watch the video." No.
Right.
So there was his reaction to it, and he's somebody who is on the inside with Mattel. And so that put a lot of my worries to rest. Now, why did this upset fans so much? And why will it upset fans so much if it's true? So for those of us, at least in my case, who missed out on Masters of the Universe classics, I was collecting action figures at the time. When they came out, I went, "That's neat. I'll get a hold of that later. I'm into this right now." Not even knowing what the fuck it was about. I'm sorry for cussing.
Hear you.
Yeah, you know what? We're going to try to slow that down in 2023. Not even knowing what it was. And then later on, seeing the figures that just, boom. I mean, they're unaffordable, if you want to collect it.
Oh, well, what was the one you sent me earlier that was like at $999? I was like, who the hell's paying that?
My point exactly. You're not going to get any of the main characters without paying less than $100. I'm telling you. And if you pay less than $100, they're missing accessories.
Who is that? Is that Super 7 stuff, or is that just?
So Matty Collector Mattel did started the line, and then Super 7 picked up the license after it was available, right. And they continued the line.
Which is also in the Toys That Made Us. Let me tell you how much I'm not a fan of Super 7. I'm really not. Their stuff is, look, they make fine figures. It's not a quality issue. For me, it's simply a pricing issue. And I think they get into that, not quite gouging, but they say they're high end. But
are they really though?
That's, hey, if I have no problem paying top dollar for top dollar stuff. I'm a nerd. I want good stuff. That's one of the reasons when it comes to the NECA stuff, I have no problem dropping whatever NECA wants me to drop for turtle stuff, or even you know how hard it is not to buy the Universal Monsters toy line? You know how hard that is?
Yes.
Because there's such quality figures. I literally have to go like, nope, because you're going to buy them all. So, and I simply, because one of my other all-time favorite lines on this planet is Thundercats. I love them so much. But one of the things that they piss me off with, who we got in here? Kellyanne. Hey, Kellyanne. So one of the things that really frustrated me was, you know how much their Thunder tank is? It's like $700.
Right.
And I'm like, right. First of all, I would love to have me and it's a full-scale size Thunder tank. But I'm like, I can't drop $700. I simply can't. and I've seen other collectors who, collected the newer Super 7 Thundercats and like paint issues. Like they didn't paint the back of the leg. It's like, I can't do that. And I know there'll be people like, oh, NECA does this and that. One of the nice things about NECA is, hey, you get you get to open up the package a little bit and see, the quality of the paint. You can't do that with a Thundercats Super 7. Like, it's all like box inside box. It's boxception. And yeah,
And how much of that are you
just,
paying for? How much of
I was like,
presentation are
hey,
you paying for?
presentation is fantastic, but
It is, but NECA does it well without paying you. You're still paying a $30 to a $50 figure depending on what you buy,
right?
And it's fine.
And the packaging for Super 7's cool, but just the quality for me is not there for what they're asking. And I don't want to say they're gouging, because people who love Super 7, God bless you. I can't do Super 7.
Well, I don't know. There's Super 7 is just out of my price range as well. So long story short, guys like me who missed out on Masters of the Universe Classics, when Masterverse came out, Masters of the Universe Revelation came out, and the Masterverse figures come out, we all read into that title, Masterverse. Like, what is that? Like, that doesn't mean just a Netflix show. And they proved themselves in the last year and a half and said, no, here's Princess of Power. Here is New Eternia, which is a big hit. Like, there's literally a mini comic storyline going on out there, which I need to read, about the Viking He-Man. Excuse me, folks. So yes, so to only go on with, like, the figures I have, when you want this collection to grow, and like, this was my vein, this is my jam, you know what I mean? Like, if I parted ways with everything else, this is what survives, for me. And it's just like, I hate to add a little fun to it, because it is a gold-plated problem, like in the movie A Christmas Story, where the dogs come through and they eat everything, and Ralphie's like, no stuffing, gone, no turkey, gone. I'm like, no King Randor, gone, no Queen Marlena, gone, no Modula, gone,
no Ram Man,
gone, all gone, and I was like, what the fuck? And again, I cussed, sorry. But yeah, so that's the frustration with it. You put time, energy, blood, sweat, and tears, and things that you love. It's an escape. And hearing something like that come from a credible person who has awesome information, but he's never been a at least in the videos that I've watched of his, and I watched quite a bit, a newsbreaker. He's had predictions, but he said it clearly. It's over. He stated it, and that upset a lot of people, because, first of all, including me, if it is, it could very well be over at retail at Walmart and Target. But here's the thing: you've got all of these exclusives, figures that are just exclusive coming out. What happens? Do they just only put those figures out?
Well, and I think one of the issues that Masters Universe runs into, like, you've got, like, how many different Motu lines going at the same time?
3.
Is that because it feels like more?
Well, 3 main lines that belong.
Because there's two lines.
Well, 4 really. You're right.
Because there's 2 from Netflix shows.
5 if you want. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So
if you really count it,
there's because I would be much more inclined to do the Motu line if it were, give me one line, give me like 1 or 2 lines, which is all. And also, I'm a huge turtle guy, but at the same time, the turtle lines are very distinctly broken up into movie, cartoon, comic books.
Well, these kind of are too. If I can just kind of help you out if you ever wanted to be a Motu collector. Masterverse, everything is under that umbrella. The Netflix show, both Netflix shows now.
I say both of them.
And then you got Princess of Power. Then you've got New Eternia. So that's all, though. But those are all like what I call Todd McFarlane figures. Like, they fit in line with these guys right here. As you can see, I've got a He-Man behind me. But your Motu Origins are for those were marketed for the people who are like mega nostalgic with the figures. Like this is an Origins figure. This is a Masterverse figure.
Right.
So this is a replica line of what we played with as kids.
Right.
And the idea was that, dads could play with it with their kids now, and I guess to a certain extent some of that caught on. But there's that out there for the Motu collector. And probably there's guys who collect them all. And then there's the Netflix
Revelation.
not Revelations. Revelations still falls under Masterverse.
Okay.
The CGI show. The CGI show has its own line, and there are 2 or 3 figures within a Masterverse too. It's not as but anything that has the label Masterverse on it, you can consider like a universe in and of itself, where Origins doesn't exist and the other Netflix line doesn't exist. But there are 3 different lines. You are right.
Yeah, but I think NECA does and once again, not making a super set for the NECA thing, but I think NECA, especially with their turtle line, really breaks it down a little bit better, a little bit easier for what you're, because now that they've got the last Ronin line coming out, and then we got more stuff based off the Mirage comic stuff, and, modern comic stuff, and don't even get me started on the Playmates. But
yeah, so I mean, it's all Playmates stuff right there is for your nostalgia. Got to have them. Which way do you have your toys? Where is your vein anyway? You've got Ronin. I know that.
I've got Ronin and I didn't want to, but I did it anyway because the figures are so gorgeous. Where the Turtles the Turtles and Universal Monsters mashup line, and then mainly what I collect is from the cartoon, the original cartoon line.
Do you have those turtles nearby right now?
I've got these that I just picked here.
Yeah, baby.
I'm very happy with this find because I was not expecting to find this in the store. And I'm very happy about having Splinter, but I don't know why. I think it's from the video game. You remember playing the video game as a kid?
Yeah, why?
The Baxter Stockman.
Yeah, why do they call him that?
What do you mean?
What's his name on the
Baxter Stockman?
I know it's.
They just have him as Baxter.
Oh, that's what it says? Is Baxter?
Yep.
Oh, I thought it said something else. Oh, I can read it now. Okay.
Yeah. Jiggling around like an idiot. But like that version of Baxter Stockman, that like haunted my dreams as a kid because I couldn't beat him. I hated him in the video game, but I love this figure, and I was super psyched to.
Yeah.
The rest of the turtles are actually mounted somewhere, so I can't actually go get them.
Okay.
Turtle sign.
No, I understand.
But I also do have.
I love the Rat King.
Oh, the Rat King. That's a Rat King, and it's funny because I totally forgot Vernon. The asshole camera guy.
Yeah.
That 2-pack's fantastic too. So.
Who'd make a great Rat King? Nicolas Cage.
At this point, Nicolas Cage is gonna be like Keanu, where they just want him to do everything, and I'm okay with it.
Didn't we watch Renfield last week? The trailer to it.
I don't know if we watched it, but I know we talked about it.
Oh yeah, okay. I'm good. I'm in for that.
It's kind of like Keanu with John Wick, where it's like, yeah, just welcome him back into like the mainstream and just let him do that because that's what Nicolas Cage is meant for. Like he's got such a long list of credits for movies, but he's always just been one of those hey, here's the scene, just go crazy, kid.
Right, go nuts.
And that's what Renfield's one of those. That's gonna be. I hope that's such a fun movie. Uh-oh.
Who is it?
All the way from Hawaii. Hawaii.
What's going on, Nate?
Not much, guys. How are you today?
Doing
all right.
I see you're still pale. Have you not been in the sun very much?
I don't go in the sun, bro.
Even in Hawaii, I was like, I'm gonna stay inside.
if I go in the sun in the daytime, like cancer just pours off of my body.
Oh boy.
No, to be honest, we have a in my family history is different kinds of skin cancer. So I try to take precautions.
It's like it's just best to stay out of the sun.
Yeah. Get in front of it.
Did we
Yeah.
lose you? Oh,
I mean,
okay.
how are you guys?
Well, good. Yeah, we lost you for a second there. So you're gonna go out this evening instead of right now.
Yeah. Yep.
So what's happened, my friend? How you been?
Doing good. I will share some exciting news. We just went to a comic store here in Honolulu called Other Realms. It's the biggest store in the Hawaiian Islands, and they bought us out and bought everything we had. So
Very
another
cool.
state to chalk up.
Yeah.
It's like I'll just go to the fancy. He's like, I was like, Michigan, you guys handle Michigan. I'll go do the hard work in Hawaii.
Right.
Yeah. He's like, you stay in the stay in the cold states. I'll go to the Hawaiian, the tropics.
We're here for my wife's family reunion, and my in-laws sprung for us to come, so I'm taking the opportunity.
Well, yeah, like so wants to pay to. Hey, anyone out there? Anyone wants to pay to send me to Hawaii or anywhere tropic? I'll go. It's no problem.
Then actually, if you look in your mailbox tomorrow, the tickets will be there for you guys to join us.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Good to know.
Nice. That sounds like the secret.
Yeah.
Yes. Did you got a runny nose, Nick?
No, just busy day, and I have to wear a mask all day, so my nose is all.
Oh, okay.
My nose gets between. I have to wear a BiPAP for when I sleep, and also I have to wear a mask for work, so my nose just takes a beating.
Yeah.
But so how's the Kickstarter going? I saw you guys are up over the 200%. I didn't check it today, but I know you guys were up.
Yeah,
over
we're
200%.
I think $2,300 some odd dollars.
Okay, so it's up from yesterday when last I checked.
It's going good. Today is exactly halfway. We need to make more to complete the books, and we're very happy with the response we've got. We had some people cancel their pledges, which kind of stunk, but I want to give a shout out to Cora at Samurai Comics. A guy came in, she pointed him to the book. He left and went to pick it up at a different store, which they didn't have it. So he came back, he bought it, and she told him about the Kickstarter, and he bought one of our biggest packages. Like he said, I want to collect this series. What's the best one? And I was like, I don't know.
It's like, ask me to pick one of my kids. Like, come on.
Well, no, I mean the biggest one has the most
best package, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't want to, sell someone right away as they walk in the door.
Right.
Look at what we have.
Buy my most expensive stuff, please. The expensive
Yes.
rack. That's where I'm pushing you towards.
But it's I don't know. It's been a roller coaster with the Kickstarter, and I'm happy where we're at. Heather Ellen from Comics and More, New Jersey, has been helping us market, and it's been, I don't know. I hope that I can turn around and help other people, because it's scary, it's exciting, and hopefully we'll be able to finish.
It's like a world. It's like it's a big, scary, exciting world. It's exciting. It's scary. It's weird. It's confusing, and it's all yeah. It's like going out in the world for the first time. It's like it can be good. It can be terrible, but no, you guys are doing great, and it sounds like you're more optimistic than last time I talked to you, because you're like, nervous, obviously, but I think the Kickstarter's going pretty well. It's been pretty steady, because I know we talked before. There's kind of lulls, especially in the middle. It seems to be. There's a peak in the beginning, and it kind of, it's like the market, and it goes down, and it picks up, and then hopefully there's a nice big pickup at the end for you guys. But no, it sounds like it's chugging right along, and very happy for you guys.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
the fear comes cyclically. So thank you guys for listening to me whine from time to time.
Oh, anytime. That's what we're here to do. And we're gonna be doing that later because we tried to watch Velma and that didn't go well. Have you watched any of that or
Okay.
anything so far?
No, I started watching This Is Us,
Oh,
and I
okay.
finished watching Wednesday. So I don't know if you guys have seen any of that stuff.
We were gonna. I know. I didn't get a chance to watch. You say This Is Us or Last of Us?
Last of Us, right?
Last of Us. Because I was like, we were gonna talk about Last of Us. I was like, I don't know if we're gonna be talking about the same show because I didn't get a chance to watch it. I was like, I didn't watch that. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe Nate watches lots of different things that I don't watch.
I try every time.
The feels, but I was but no, it's on my to-do list. I didn't get a chance to watch it yet. Adam, did you say you got a chance to watch a chunk of it, but not all of it?
Like the first 25 minutes, it's really good.
Yeah, about where I'm at.
Yeah. It's okay. There's a scene where it looks a little video gamey, but it's well done and you almost don't notice it. You know what I mean? So I don't know if it should be there, but it looks good to me.
Did you play
I don't know if I know which one you're talking about.
He jumps in the car and it's like this kind of quick point of view, and he says, "Get in," and they start driving, and it's just the way the camera pans.
Yeah, I can see that.
And the way you hear him say "get in" sounds like an audio from a game. The way the sound effects go, it was very clever.
I didn't play the game.
Okay, yeah, because I'm coming in as a straight normie. Like I have an idea as to what the show is, but also I've watched it. I think one YouTuber who was a gamer, he was talking about it, but I'm coming in strictly as a normie. I was like, to me, it kind of seems like it's a little bit on the it's kind of zombie post-apocalyptic show. We watched a World War Z last night as a warm up. So
I thought that. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I was gonna try and ask my wife to watch it, but we started off saying, "Hey, why don't we try and watch Velma real quick?" So all my decision-making processes were taken away from after we watched that. For Velma, we couldn't even make it through the credits. So I was like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't suggest anything else the rest of the evening. So we'll just stick with World War Z."
I thought Nick was talking about watching The Last of Us this morning. I was like, we couldn't even make it to the credits. I was like, wait, Nick, hold on.
I was like, that's a bit harsh.
I'm like, Nick, how bad? What happened? Because I'm like, you know what this is, right? It's based off this game. I went into I even told him how it ends. Like I was like, Nick, because I know this end here, and I was talking about Vel. I was like, so you didn't see it.
And I was watching This Is Us.
And everybody's like, I don't know. I don't know. You guys are talking about. I cried the whole time.
I'm not watching
the premise though, when they started talking and it goes to like a TV episode in 1968, I was like fascinated. I was like, wow, this is like really well thought out. I won't ruin it, Nick.
I'll be right back.
It was cool.
They did a good job of making it. They grounded it in our world, so to speak. Like they made sure to throw in the pandemic stuff. But the funny part about that is that's what the game's about anyway. A pandemic. So
yeah, and I couldn't tell, but since Nick is gone, when Nana came up, did she have like little tentacles off of her mouth?
Yes, makes me want to vomit right now. It was disgusting.
No, because when the girl, I forget her, I didn't remember her name, but when she went over to like look at something and she's in the background and she starts doing this, I was like,
that creeped me the fuck out. Again, I swear, that creeped me out really bad. But there was one thing I wanted to ask you. Dang, Dang. Oh, do you know who the singer is on the girl's T-shirt? Because it's bugging the crap out of me.
The Muffin Man.
I don't remember.
In in The Last of Us. I mean, because when it starts, I wasn't paying much attention. I was just sitting down. I hit play, but it starts off. You can hear Avril Lavigne music going in the background, but it's not Avril Lavigne like that you would recognize. It's like a rare, obscure Avril Lavigne track that you would only like hear if you like listen to Avril Lavigne albums a lot.
Like not Skater Boy,
like I do, but it's not.
I have her whole collection, her whole catalog.
I do until she releases a new album. Then I don't. But so yeah, it's one of those tracks. I was like, wait, I know that singer. Who's that singer? And then it popped in my head, and then I saw the girl. And then I was like, oh, she's got a singer on her shirt. But it isn't. I don't think it's Avril Lavigne. I can't make out who it is. And that's was driving me batshit crazy for like 25 minutes.
I didn't even really pay attention to it. I was just trying to like watch what's going on because this show kind of felt like you got to pay attention to the details. It felt like things were placed well and meaningfully. Is that a word?
yeah, like the Air Force flying over and the watch
and the money and like what. And then we can't say too much because Nick hasn't watched it. So
no, you're good. I'm just
when they all die and then
comes
in. I even listen to you guys.
Okay, wait a second though, since we don't want to get too far into spoilers on The Last of Us, because I think the general consensus here is we like what we see so far. Has either one of you men seen The Dead Don't Die?
I have not. I don't think so.
I've watched almost all of that movie.
The movie's crazy. It's so out there. All right, there we go. What do we got here, Nick? The Last of Us here.
Yeah, pull up a picture. You don't like it? Fine.
I thought you were gonna lead us. I thought you were gonna lead us somewhere. Like, what do I say? So that's
we're talking about Last of Us because I haven't got a chance to watch it yet.
So. Yeah. So I suggest we all finish watching it.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you guys talked about Ant-Man?
Not yet. We got a couple things. The only thing that we talked about, and we weren't sure if you wanted to get into, was Masters of the Universe toy line. Is it in trouble? We don't know.
No.
It's not.
Well, I mean, as an educated guess, I would say no. It's probably going to be called something else, maybe like all toy lines do. Just like I think that, like, okay, they've got the 7-inch page punchers, right? For McFarlane Toys.
Right.
It's obviously a DC Multiverse action figure. Right?
Yes.
So it would be like that. That's what I think.
We're already boring, Nate. We're already boring.
No. No. I'm just gonna throw it out there. I yawned so many times the first time I was on your guys' show. I was embarrassed. I don't know. Sometimes I just yawn a lot, and I'm like, these guys probably think I've got like narcolepsy or something.
I am also
all right. Let's pump up the music a little bit here.
I'm also hyper aware of my yawning. I feel like I yawn too much too.
Well, I do notice like when Adam starts yawning, it's like probably time to start wrapping the show up. So because we're starting to lose it. And I'm like, we're only good for like an hour and a half as it is. So
yeah. But so because of this Masterverse line, I now have a hero. Yeah.
Nice.
This is Hero. So because of the Masterverse line, which is a figure I never thought I would have, but it is a character in the He-Man mythos.
So, but as far as Quantum Mania goes, Nate, I've been so disappointed with well, a lot of things lately, but especially Marvel stuff. So I'm not super excited, but I do love Paul Rudd. I do like his Ant-Man, but it's just I'm just so like meh to everything Marvel right now. It's hard to get too excited. Where are you at with it, Quantumania?
Me?
Anybody?
I thought you said Nate. Anyway,
Right,
I am excited for this one more so than I was for uh, Ant-Man and the Wasp. Which here's the thing is I was really looking forward to the first Ant-Man movie to begin with, and when it came out after No More Edgar Wright and all that kind of stuff, I was like, that was
I said
lukewarm.
that was the one where I'm like, if and a lot of people said if they had gone with Edgar Wright's script, that would have been the best Marvel movie yet.
I believe that,
I
but they
100%
didn't,
believe that.
and I thought it was lukewarm. I also thought Civil War was kind of lukewarm too. There's things I liked about it, but you know who's never been lukewarm?
Luke Skywalker.
Paul Rudd in playing this character. He's always made Ant-Man. He's what's made Ant-Man a good time for me, really. And so seeing him team up with his family that he fought for, now he has, that's kind of cool. And plus I hear rumors about the Fantastic Four being in the quantum realm, which would be fantastic to me.
It would
Nope.
be, but because I've heard that as well. My only concern is because they know they've got nothing else that people are excited about, and I think they're kind of fast tracking that. So I don't want them to like, because I always thought after Endgame they should have just straight pivoted to, Fantastic Four and gone with Galactus. That would have been the simplest thing. But I don't want them to rush the Fantastic Four because, I mean, look, the first couple of Fantastic Four movies with Jessica Alba and I don't
Yeah.
but
Michael Chiklis, Michael Chiklis, Chris Evans.
Right. I thought those were okay. They're kind of not Carnage, but Venom level, Marvel movies. Nothing spectacular, but they had their moments. The other Fantastic Four movie, honestly, couldn't even finish it. And I don't know.
I think this. Here's the thing. Just
Be right back.
hear me out on it. Well, I want to explain this, and now he's going to leave because he's the one I was going to convince. And I guess I need to hold my thought on that. You tell me what you think here,
Yes.
Nate.
Imagine if some hold music.
Right. Imagine, if you will, though, that the Fantastic Four are inside the quantum realm. Okay? And imagine if in the 1960s, something happened to put them there in their accident when they got the power cosmic. And they never really came back from that. Okay. Now, you're with me so far, Nate?
Yes.
Nate's with me on this one. I'm going to start over for you just to maybe kind of say this is how it could be exciting. Let's say the Fantastic Four are in the quantum realm. This is what we get. We get a Fantastic Four that was born in the late 60s, that got into that accident, somehow, for whatever reason, ended up in the quantum realm, but they got their power through the power cosmic or whatever it is. They got in the quantum realm. Maybe they had a fight with Galactus. Maybe they didn't. And maybe it just kind of fell under the radar. Maybe the government covered it up. Maybe they're stuck in there. We then get the original Fantastic Four brought forward into our time. That would be your replacement for Steve Rogers,
right?
Being your fish out of water from the 40s to now.
I would love to see a period piece, because they did it briefly with the first Captain America, but I'd love to see a full 60s period piece with Fantastic Four.
So would I. And this movie might give us that.
If they could actually knock off the crap and do that properly, because I think that's a proper way to do it. I think they might have something, but it's so hard to trust what Marvel's been doing lately.
Because right after that, you could do the origin movie, just like Captain America: The First Avenger. You could do the Fantastic Four. Marvel's first family.
Well,
They
and
are
go
Marvel.
back,
Yeah, that's good.
well, and go back to what Disney should be focused on: families. And it's really not that
Well,
difficult.
man, if there's any superhero group out there that's about family and not about chaotic family, it's the Fantastic Four or the X-Men. They could be at each other's throats here and there.
Right. Well, yeah, I mean, that's essentially the whole X-Men thing. Like, their entire life is strife, right? Because basically, replacement for civil rights and the whole, not the whole thing. Not like I'm trying to underplay with the civil rights movement, but that's basically what. Oh, lost name. That's basically what their, uh, the X-Men were for.
Right. Right. You okay there, Nate?
I think Nate lost his hotel Wi-Fi, or maybe wherever.
No, I didn't.
Oh, there he is. Oh.
I don't want to. I was trying to communicate with my wife. I didn't want to be rude.
Oh, that's okay.
I just went and ran and let the dogs out, so it's cool.
So what's your take? Are you excited for that's all, folks. Quantumania?
I feel like they try to build up traction with these kind of stories in between and plant seeds, but it doesn't really, I don't know, it doesn't really do anything for me. But when those seeds like kind of grow and come to fruition, that's what I think this is the beginning of phase 5, right? So I'm excited to see some of these things actually come to life, and I am interested to see Kang, and Loki. That seed was planted. I'm interested to see where they're going to take it. When Infinity War and Endgame, it was like a global phenomenon. Like, people were into it, and I think people are burnt out, but they might be able to pull off kind of a second round of awesome. With some of those seeds that they planted along the way, and a lot of it felt like I don't know, just drinking water. It was just like, oh, here I am at the theater, another sip of water. Like you want a soda. You're like, I'm at the theater. I'd actually prefer to have a Coca-Cola today. So, actually,
are you a Marvel reader by chance? Yes. Did you read the old comic books at all, or do you know?
No, I didn't read a lot of the old ones, so I don't know a lot of the mythos. But
Nate's an Image guy, Adam.
Yeah, I don't know what I am, honestly. I'm a Pork Chop Express guy.
That's right. Well played, sir.
No, I started reading Midnight Suns. What else have I picked up from Marvel? Maestro was a lot of fun. I think it was like a 5-book series. If you guys know what Maestro?
I do not.
It's Hulk gets transported into the future.
Yeah.
And he becomes Maestro. I don't know. Yeah, there's so many fun stories, but it just gets, I don't know. We've talked about this time and time again. It's like played out. Like, how could you take these characters? I mean, Fantastic Four has been around forever, right? They're like the first Marvel family. That's a true statement, right? You're not just saying that. Is that right?
Right. They're considered the first family of Marvel.
So, but how can you take some of these characters around and like make them fresh? Even like that Drax and what's her name?
Mantis.
The holiday special that they did, man. Yeah. I was like cackling because it was just so over the top. Like, this is so dumb. It's awesome.
Right.
Like over fences and stuff. He's like throwing her and like he hops over, and I don't know. I don't know in depth all of the origin stories. But that's why I'm with you guys.
No, I just meant like, are you a Marvel fan, reader, whatever? You know what I mean? Like, that's all.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I do.
Well, that's because I know what you're saying, because now like you're going to the theater where it's, and that's why I thought after Endgame the pivot to Fantastic Four would have been fresh start, fresh everything, instead of let's just try and eke out one more Avengers movie or one more, just the characters where that there's one more. Like I said, you get that, I was like, okay, one more. Okay, great. And when there's nowhere for anything to go at this point because they've already done, the climax of,
I mean, there's somewhere to go. I mean, they could do like the West Coast Avengers, which is one of the Kate Bishop. She's a big time member of that. I mean, they,
Well,
it's this. I just don't have faith that it'll be handled right anymore. I think the days of good comic book movies, like the era of the Dark Knight trilogy and the early Iron Man, all the way through to Avengers Endgame. I think Avengers Endgame says it all, guys. I think
well,
that's.
that,
I
that's
think
why. That's why I
after
said,
that,
why keep going? Why keep pushing? That was clearly a Disney. Well, we made money with Avengers. Let's just keep it going. And they were like, no, like this is the end. Let's go. We've got a whole other universe of characters used. Let's use some of those.
and to be fair, streaming affected the Marvel universe big time.
Well,
Because the
that's
minute they needed content for Disney Plus, what toy box do you go to?
well, that's one of the reasons they're in trouble now, because they spent so much money on Lucasfilm, Marvel, Fox. What else? They bought so much stuff because there's like content, and we just bought a whole bunch of IPs,
Yeah.
to do whatever we want with them.
We own it all. Yeah. Good and bad, you know.
But I mean,
But-
like in terms of a business, which you're trying to satisfy the stockholders. If you put $200 million out and you make $600 million on a crappy film,
Right.
the stockholders are happy.
Well,
Yeah,
and,
there's still true.
You know,
and the part of the issue with so much success that Marvel had, where now all the stockholders are going to be like, we were making billions before. Why, if it doesn't make a billion, it's nothing. And it's
yeah.
been it's been a product, of their own success. Where, Ed and I have gone back and forth, a few times with, especially with Love and Thunder and some of the other movies. We're like, yeah, technically they made money, but the stockholders aren't happy until those M's turn into B's. When it goes from millions to billions. Disney can say, oh yeah, we technically made money. Well, you made like $5. That's not what the stockholders are psyched about.
Hey, $5 is $5.
$5 is $5, but to me and you, that's fine. But to those guys, it's like, no, like the return on investment needs to be higher.
I mean,
but that's part of the problem. But that's where Marvel's at now. I hate to keep harping on it, but I think if they'd have gone at least with the X-Men, they'd be in a much better spot now instead of trying to eke out more Avengers and Ant-Man. Like right now, what else they have? Ant-Man. If 5 years ago you said, you know what the highlight of 2023 is going to be for Marvel? Ant-Man, Quantum Mania. And everybody's like, what the hell happened? And that's where they're at now.
What other movies are coming out this year?
for Marvel, I don't know.
Marvel.
I don't know. I know DC's got like three.
I thought Blade was coming out this year.
Well, that's the thing. They so much stuff that they've changed their slate so much.
Because I actually am excited to see Blade.
Oh, for sure. But
I want to see if they're going to mess that up.
oh, don't even. Why? I got to bring up old stuff.
I think they're going to do Morbius too over there at Sony. I didn't mind Morbius. I didn't think it was any worse than Carnage.
No, well, that's the thing. It's not great.
Actually, to tell you the truth, I kind of liked it better.
I said because we just watched it together.
For a crappy movie.
All right, so
hold
on, let me pull this up.
Who did Blade 2? Is that Sam Raimi?
Was that Raimi?
Whoa,
I thought that was Guillermo del Toro.
Oh, I think you're right. You're right.
All right, so What If season 2 is early 2023. That's streaming. Secret Invasion miniseries early 2023. That's Disney Plus. Guardians of the Galaxy. That's the only thing that I'm like, yes, that's what I'm looking for. That's coming out in May. Loki season 2 mid 2023.
Oh, I'm in for that.
The Marvels, July 28th, 2023. Absolutely passing on that one. Echo, I think Echo got pushed. Ironheart season 1, late 2023. Agatha Covenant Chaos season 1, late 2023, early 2020.
There's got to be one in fall.
I'll
though,
watch
right?
all of that.
What?
I'll watch all of that.
You have fun with
I'll
that,
watch
my
it.
friend.
I won't be happy about it.
And be like, wee. I'm gonna be like, crap. He's like, wee. I'll be cranky. Adam be like, wee, and happy.
I will be because I just want to have some fun with some of that stuff. But it is all lukewarm. There's no Iron Man. There's no Wolverine. There's no, and that's fine. I don't need that for my superheroes. But honestly, like we've entered the age of the B-listers. You know what I mean? Like,
well, let's be honest. They started with B-listers because Iron Man wasn't top tier anymore. Captain America wasn't top tier, but
you watch your mouth.
but they brought it with storylines. They brought it with that, the golden age storylines. That
but Captain America and Iron Man in the 2000s had really good stories established throughout the years. I mean, Captain America, where they get that line where in Captain's Orders, where all of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s like, nope, we're not listening to anything anybody's saying. We're just going to do what Steve Rogers tells us to do because he's Steve Rogers. That's all over the comic books. You know what I mean? Like, it has been since we were kids. I'm just got to put that out there and make sure we all are aware that he has always been a top-notch character.
You're correct, but you're correct. But if, let's say we were talking earlier about bringing stuff from the comic shop to here.
Right.
If we were talking in the late 90s, early 2000s in the comic book shop, we would be talking about what are they going to do with the X-Men and how are they going to do all that. Because at that point, the X-Men were up here and everybody else was down. It was that simple.
You're 100% true. 100% true on that because, at the time we were coming off of Chris Claremont, Jim Lee. We were coming off of guys like Rob Liefeld, who was doing
97 animated show.
Yeah, the New Mutants. I mean, all of that stuff. So, I agree with you in that respect. So maybe I kind of misunderstood. But the nickname for Iron Man was Old Shellhead in the lore, if I'm not mistaken. And it is a surprise to see that he becomes the first Marvel character to like skyrocket the movies. You know what I mean? So that's pretty good.
Speaking of New Mutants, did you see who they finally made a action figure of? Chamber. Like the only character that I remember from them I was like, I don't even like anybody else. I just want that figure.
Where's Chamber from? Ooh, let me see. Ooh.
New Mutants, I think.
Chamber. New Mutants.
Might have it, but I might have the team wrong. But I just remember he was. I never read his comic book. I just thought he was badass.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But,
did you happen to see the New Mutants television or movie?
Yeah.
You did?
Okay. I did, but I also think wasn't there one in like the late 90s? Was that New Mutants?
Generation X.
Generation. That's what I'm thinking of. Sorry, Generation X. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, it was supposed to be.
My bad. Bro.
Really horror.
What's that?
Was it like really horror-esque?
The New Mutants?
Yeah.
The trailer was better than the movie's actual execution.
I think, God bless her, I think my wife liked it, and I was like, good for you.
I liked it, but kind of like out of like I want to like it.
Right.
It's one of those things.
I'm like, it's still comic books, so I'm happy, but I'm like happy.
It has grit, It does. It really does have grit.
I remember liking it, but like also going like, yeah, that could have been better.
Who directed that?
I will be right back.
Because didn't they have a cut? Like the director wanted it a different way once again, and the studio went against what he wanted.
Yeah, there was a lot of, I don't want to say turmoil, but I remember a lot of rumors about this. So Josh Boone directed it.
Oh yeah, he did the
Let me look.
Oh, I forget the name of that movie. And did you hear that the guy that
So he did
did
Fault in Our Stars and the Stan TV series. He was the
Okay.
writer.
there was another movie that he did earlier in his career that I had watched. There's got to be more than that.
Well, he's only got 4
Correct.
directing credits,
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of somebody else.
but he's got
Okay.
he's only got 5.
What about writer? Got a writer?
That's what I'm looking.
Or a producer?
I don't. I did I mention how much I don't like how they do IMDb anymore? They made it such a pain. Writer. So
There's a
his 5 writing credits: The Stand, The New Mutants, The Pretenders, All We Had, and Stuck in Love. And
Okay.
director: The Stand, New Mutants, The Fault in Our Stars, which that's just a make you cry movie, and
Okay.
Stuck in Love.
like Guardians of the Galaxy make you cry.
Oh yeah.
I had to tell my brother about when Guardians of the Galaxy came out. Be like, hey, dude, that, because we lost our moms like pretty early, and I just be like, hey, man, that opening scene's gonna suck, like because hey, yeah, here's mom dying of cancer. Be like, yeah, been there, that sucks. So I had to tell him like,
Sorry.
that might be a little bit rough for you. But Josh Boone. So, and we're talking still about the New Mutants.
And there's also the guy that did Suicide Squad. Did you guys hear that he's going to get his cut? James Gunn is going to allow that movie to have that director's cut.
Okay, so I posted on our Instagram about that. I have not seen that from anywhere else, so I'm thinking it's a rumor, but
maybe I saw it on your Instagram.
I was saying, but am I here for it? I am absolutely here for that because I mean, let's be honest. Everybody said the Snyder Cut was never going to happen. Never going to see the light of day. You bunch of Snyder Cut DC nerds, you guys are losers. You're not going to get it, and we got it, and it freaking it basically made HBO Max.
Yeah,
I would love to see the same for the Ayer Cut because once again, going off rumors, is he got screwed by the studio.
Oh, David Ayer did get screwed with the studio. That script got tampered with. Like that finished product was not his vision. But here's the thing: I'd love to see this movie. I'm all for director's cuts, and I'm upset that there isn't a version that. Why can't you buy a DVD version already with this that has a director's cut? Haven't we been doing this for years? And I know that the Snyder Cut is a different circumstance because he didn't get to finish his movie. David Ayer still got to shoot what he wanted to shoot and blah, 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 blah. But if you're going to release the Ayer Cut, you make me happy, make everybody here happy.
Yeah.
But,
first and foremost.
But like, how is that not contradictory of saying we're not moving forward with anything from the past? How does that not contradict that? And do it, great. I'm all for it because I understand it. I've been reading comic books that don't make sense for years. I've been reading one Batman.
If you read enough comic books, story, and it should be like there's so much convolution, which is one of the reasons I was actually happy that DC did. Hey, we're doing the New 52. We're stopping and starting here because there's only so many different places and so many different ways you can twist a story where everything doesn't just fall apart. But
yeah, and now the New 52 is just out there, created by Dr. Manhattan. By the way, if you didn't know that, it's pretty cool too how he does it. He says it's 1950s, 1940, I think it's the 30s actually. And he says Alan Scott is riding on a train. The train begins to derail. He panics and reaches out, and he grabs onto a green lantern. And he becomes endowed with the powers of the Green Lantern, and he saves the train. Then he says it again. It is 19 whatever, Alan Scott is on a train that is derailing. He reaches out, and I push the Green Lantern 6 inches out of his way. He misses it, falls to his death. And the Justice Society is never formed. Then they fast forward to Clark Kent with his parents. They're saying, no, you have to hide who you are because people would be blah, 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 blah. So this Clark Kent grows up never being a Superboy. And he loses his parents. He doesn't save his parents, blah, blah, blah. And when Dr. Manhattan restores reality, he pushes the Green Lantern back into place. He grabs it. Then you see Clark with his parents, and his parents say, back during World War II, there were a group of, different individuals who had abilities. You shouldn't be ashamed, Clark. You shouldn't hide who you are. You should save people and use your abilities for good. So that's how there was a difference between the New 52 Superman and then Superman, and how everything went back. It's very convoluted, and yeah.
All right. So, what else we got here? So, touched on Last of Us a little bit. Do we want to get into Velma or do we want to get into Mandalorian?
I get into Velma. Tell me everything you know.
All right. So, speaking with Adam earlier, we were talking this morning. Adam's like, let's tear this thing a new asshole. I was like, not typically what Adam wants to start with, but I was like, let's go. So.
First of all, this to me is nothing short of look at the style and the animation, and look how similar it is to that wonky, wacky style of the Harley Quinn show. And the fact that you tell me that you can't get past the credits without all of these cuss words, what happens? That's the Harley Quinn show. And guess what?
Not only cuss words,
but that was just my looking to. I'm not saying it's bad to use curse words. That's not my point. I'm saying with that character and everything, you don't have something built up or something in the past that just it doesn't fit to me. It doesn't make sense.
Well, that's the thing. So, and all right, let's do this. So, when you take not an original IP, when you take an existing IP such as something so beloved as Scooby-Doo, and then you just change everything, what the hell's the point? Like, why even just make your own stuff at this point? So you have Velma, who is basically an self-insert for Mindy Kaling. Okay, fine. Daphne's Asian and crazy rich, so now she's a crazy rich Asian. Shaggy is Norville, I think, and he's a black dude. So you have the wee-toking black guy, not stereotypical at all. And then you've got the beta cuck male Fred, who is, I think they said that he's so pampered that his body didn't even go through puberty, so he's got tiny bit boys. I was like, who the F is this show for? And I'm sitting here, last night, I was like, hey, like I said earlier, I went to my wife, hey, do you want to give this show a shot? And even she went even my wife, who doesn't care about this stuff nearly as much as I do, even she had heard the crap about this show. And she just goes, do we have to? I was like, we'll give it a shot. And the big thing, once again, we're not prudes. We're okay with swearing, but it's got to make sense. Like, if you are just cussing for cussing's sake, you know what you sound like? You sound like an idiot. It sounds like you're not smart enough to write dialogue that's clever enough to say something other besides, dropping F-bombs every other word.
Thank
you, Nate.
I'm just thinking.
He didn't say not you, Adam.
Screw you.
That had to go through several layers of approval before they could get all of that cussing approved.
I know. Yeah.
In all fairness, there's a time and a place. A zombie, a Chihuahua apocalypse, probably going to say a bunch of F words. But at the same time, it's just because my wife's like, just because it's a more mature version of Scooby-Doo doesn't mean you just cuss constantly and make sexual references. It's just once again, who the hell's this show for? the characters aren't the same at all. There's no Scooby Doo in it, so what the hell's the point? It's just like, sweet gee, like honestly, we made it through the credits, the opening credit scene, and I looked at my wife and I'm like, "Are we done?" She's like, "Turn it off." I said, "Okay, good enough." We gave it a shot.
Did,
Well,
did you guys watch Wednesday?
I watched the first
Adam
two
did.
episodes.
I didn't get a chance to yet.
I enjoyed it.
I
I liked it.
I don't want to go away from your subject, but
No,
they
you're good.
took an existing IP, and I thought they made something fun. But I
Right.
don't think I'm going to watch Velma by what you guys are saying.
Actually, Nick, this is going to sound real bizarre, but you just convinced me to check this out. Now I'm curious. Now I want to see, because, yeah, I want to see.
Well, and it's so like they've made Velma, who was kind of, the meek nerd, character, and now she's lashing out and attacking people, and it's just like, it's clearly a self-insert for Mindy Kaling, who feels, I don't want to put any words, but it's a self-insert to attack people. That's all it is. So she can attack whoever she wants to in animation form. Mindy Kaling,
Who's that?
What? Mindy Kaling from The Office.
Oh, I never watched that show.
Okay. So she's the Indian girl from The Office.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So she's had, I think she's got writing credits on that. It's a fantastic show. She had the Mindy Kaling, the Mindy Project. That thing failed. And then immediately everybody said, "Oh, you're doing the Scooby Doo show? Okay, that's fun." And you're like, "Oh, you're race swapping all the characters." No thanks. It's kind of like when they said, "Hey, we're doing Ghostbusters, but we're making it all girl, all female Ghostbusters," and literally the entire fan base said, "Please God, no, don't do that." And then they were shocked when no one went to go see it.
I would have given that. I did give that movie a chance, and it's just bad. It's just a bad movie.
Well, and honestly, like the first couple lines from Velma, I couldn't get past where one of the lines was, they were talking about superheroes, men being superheroes. Why would you give men that much more, make that men so much more powerful? And I was like, why are we doing this? Like, what the hell? Like, I just, the whole thing, I don't know what we're doing. I don't know why the show even got greenlit. I don't know why they made all the decisions that they made. And it's terrible, and I don't like it. And it's just not for me. I'll leave it there. I'm not going to say it's not for everybody, but it's definitely not. It was not. So,
I heard it's not doing well.
no, it's terrible. It's doing very bad as far as Rotten Tomatoes. And the only thing that sucks is now that it's gotten out how bad it is, a lot of people are kind of hate watching it, which means HBO thinks, hey, people are watching our show, which is the problem with hate watching. But that's how execs, they just see numbers, because I assume I don't think any execs actually watched Velma before it went out. They clearly did not, and said, yeah, this is good. But they're gonna look at the numbers and be like, oh yeah, the first 2 episodes were pretty good, and it's gonna drop off.
They were too busy watching This Is Us.
Exactly, Nate.
But so hold on a second. You're talking about hate watching. There was Josh was watching these Miles Morales. Didn't he turn into? There was a series of ones where Miles Morales turned into other people, and they were not that good.
No, well, the worst is when they did the Thor mashup. It was, I think they did What If with Miles Morales, basically Miles Morales, where they were making them different characters. And the worst one was Thor
number 4.
I'm not sure which issue it was, but it was.
But it sold out all over the place, and no one could get it.
Right. Right.
Hate reading. And why is it so bad?
But it's funny because I'd pick up an issue because it's so offensive. It's almost as offensive as when they did DC did the Green Lantern for Hispanic heritage. I think they changed the cover for Green Lantern holding a bag of burritos or something. It's just like,
What was that for the Indian one? He's an Indian fella from and get this, he's from India, but he's a student at the University of Michigan.
I don't know. But all I
And,
know
and in
is
Michigan, there's a high population of Indian people who happen to attend the University of Michigan.
yeah, I mean, that's one of the weird things of the world. Outside of the Middle East, and I know India's not Middle Eastern, but outside of the Middle East, Michigan has the second highest population of Middle Eastern people. I don't know why they. Yeah, I swear.
Yeah.
That's
I'm the
I
only
swear-
Caucasian in my building. I'm the only Caucasian. Everybody in my building is from either Iraq or somewhere else. Yeah.
And I don't know. It's definitely not the climate why they come here. I'm not 100% sure how that happened.
Could
But
be. Could be the climate. It's fucking hot over there.
But don't
Might be
choose Michigan.
Might be jobs. I mean, maybe somebody's got in somewhere and they can hire other people.
Yeah, so when people mention like Dearborn is outside of the Middle East, is essentially the highest population of Middle Eastern people outside of the Middle East.
Can I tell you guys a random snippet? So if you go on to, I think it's Netflix, there's a special call or a show called The Donut King. You guys like donuts? Yeah.
Hey,
very much so.
Hey, that's prejudice.
Oh yeah.
Hey, I've got one of those too, and Josh might be bigger than both you guys put together. He's a big man.
We'll see about
We're gonna
that.
have to get on one day. Anyways, this story is about this guy who moved from Burma. He's Burmese, and he came into Southern California, and he worked for Winchell's, and he started to learn how to make donuts, and he opened up a couple shops. Well, all these like refugees from Burma, and it shows all the political strife that was happening, were coming to the United States. Well, they didn't know anything, so he taught them how to make donuts, and the whole West Coast, especially Southern California, all the donut shops were independent, and like Winchell's and Dunkin' Donuts all tried to move in, and they got shut down. So it was really cool because it's like he put all these people to work. He actually but the pink donut box. They made it. It used to be white, he made the paper pink because it was cheaper. So he was just trying to figure out ways to save money. So that became it's a great.
That sounds like a great story.
Yeah, Nate froze up. So,
I gotta screenshot this.
Oh, there he is. Oh,
I was gonna screenshot you. You're froze. Oh, dang.
Adam's out of control. The last thing I saw on Netflix was the hatchet wielding homeless man. That was
that was
meme.
me. Sorry.
That's my bad, bro. But I think it was like 2013. Like there was like memes made about him, and it was crazy. But so this guy who was on drugs drove into a group of workers, pinned a guy, and then started attacking other people. And then this homeless guy shows up with a hatchet and starts hitting this guy in the head, and gets on the news, becomes this local hero. Well, not local, but a viral hero. And then through his, got crazy famous like overnight, and then ended up killing a guy. Now he's in jail. So it's like, who could have foreseen that happening? Where the mentally unstable homeless guy killed somebody and ends up in jail because he didn't know how to handle fame.
That's not
or
what
life.
Happened. That's not what happened.
No.
It means the comic book Spawn is based off of real events. Welcome to the escape. Full disclaimer, that is what really happened, what Nick said.
So, Velma, I'm going to give it a hard pass. Up to you. Whoever wants to go check it out, it's up to you. But not
You
my,
just
not
convinced
my
me
cup
to
of
watch
tea.
it.
God bless you, because
But
it's
I'm gonna watch it. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
not my cup of tea.
I just want to see the first episode.
And I don't know, Nate. Are you at Office? Did you watch The Office?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's one scene that I thought Mindy Kaling was funny, and she didn't even say anything. So, Mindy Kaling was not my favorite part of The Office.
Yeah.
But it's just like not my cup of tea, and it's one of those. I'm not entirely sure how certain people keep getting jobs, but she's making a good living. God bless her. But not my cup of tea of humor.
Hey, we gotta watch it. No, we haven't.
Oh, Eddie's gone. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for stopping by.
Showing up.
So,
We
all right.
appreciate it.
Other thing that's coming out, they just dropped a new trailer for Mandalorian season 3. I think that's coming out. I have notes here. It's coming out March 1st on Disney Plus. It's one of the few things that left over from Star Wars where I'm like, yeah, I'll check that out. But modern Star Wars is dead to me.
Well, Mandalorian, I mean, that's got to at least be your exception, right? I mean, they haven't done no harm, right?
No, but I'm all right. This is where
I
I'm
know.
going to come up. This is where I'm going to come off as a son of a bitch. I am getting very sick of Grogu. I know everybody loves him, but for love of God, I'm just like
He's got Grogu fatigue.
I have Grogu fatigue.
Ladies and
He's
gentlemen,
cuddly, but this can we expand the story? So I wanted him to go with Luke and train with Luke. That's what I wanted. That's what this guy wanted.
No.
God forbid we have character development. No, let's keep the stepdad and the goofy 50-year-old kid together.
Yeah, but man, I don't want to see Grogu hanging out with Luke Skywalker.
No, but you know what I want to see? I want to see Grogu wielding a freaking lightsaber. That's what I want.
Maybe he will.
You know how many toys I would sell?
Maybe he could just keep practicing the Force stuff, develop his own style. Maybe learn from other Jedis. Like, oh my God. Like, what if he's like Batman? And he learns from different kinds of Jedis and Mandalorians and all this stuff. And then Mando, Din Djarin, his real name, dies in front of him one day. And guess what he has to do? Go out and fight crime within the universe, dressed as a Wookiee. An Ewok.
That's original.
Yeah.
I would watch that.
I'd watch that. I'm okay with that. I can be wrong. It's fine. I just want some character development. I was like, you're tiny and green. That's all you, and you're cute. That's all you got going for you.
Yeah, but he's kick-ass, man.
Yeah, so. All right, Nate, you got to get going.
Yeah, I do, guys. Thank you.
All right.
Thanks for coming on. You want to play the Chihuahuas video?
Yeah, we'll play it out for him. So I think this is it. Let's see. Whoop.
All right, folks.
All right.
Don't forget to back that Kickstarter for Nether Chihuahuas.
Yeah, say what, Nate? You said we're at the midway point, so we got just over 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah. Yep.
So just over 2 weeks. Go check it out. Go help out our friends.
Please.
And also, if you are a fan of indie comics and want to support indie creators, this is one of, I want to say, like, I know like all the indie creators, but as my friend and as a friend of the show, go back our friend here and help him out. And because there's not only that on the horizon, because you got Night Chihuahua, you got Killer Hair. What's going on with Killer Hair? Is that on deck?
I've been so engrossed with this Kickstarter that I haven't really touched Killer Hair. I wrote a new intro, and I'm happy. I just need to, with like where it's headed, I just need to take the time, and having 2 kids, trying to navigate the daily things of the Chihuahuas. It's just hard to actually get time to sit and focus. So like David, the author of Night of the Chihuahuas, he told me, I don't know if I told you guys this the other day, he told me, I was like, how do you do everything? He's like, I just don't sleep. So,
Dude, it's
he
hard.
says he sleeps about 4 hours a night, but he can get time at night where it's quiet and he can write or get his head into a space. But yeah, I've got the beginning of a cover of Killer Hair. Yeah, and also it's funny. A couple of people have actually approached me about doing artwork for the book. I have someone that I'd like to work with, but it was kind of inspiring to have other people actually ask to possibly get involved. So
Sure, that's awesome. So, but anyway, but you need money to finish up Night Chihuahuas, so we can move on to the next project. So go help out Night Chihuahuas. Let them get it finished because you guys are doing what 5-issue run, right? And you just finished. Which issue are you guys just finished up?
Issue 3 is coming out in
3.
February.
Yep.
And then issue 4 is halfway done.
Okay, so almost there. Go help out our friend. Go help out Indie Creator. And Nate, thank you so much for coming out. And you are welcome back anytime, sir.
Thank you, guys.
All right, thanks, Nate. Have a good one, man.
Don't get sunburned in Hawaii.
This is for Velma, right?
That's right. He is gangster.
All right, see you guys.
See you later. Nanu.
All right. And then there were 2.
Nanu.
But all right, so finish up on Mandalorian season 3. Am I excited? Minimally, because all my last shred of anything good coming out of, I'll just say Kathleen Kennedy's Star Wars is dead. I have faith in Jon Favreau. I like what he's done with it, but I don't know. It's kind of like at Marvel. Like, am I excited about certain things? Minimally. The only thing I'm actually excited about that's coming out is Guardians of the Galaxy 3, but that's because it's James Gunn, and he's done a great job. I like the first 2, but now he's moving over to DC, and now I don't know what he's doing at DC because he hasn't announced anything. He's just shot down a bunch of ideas and rumors, but he hasn't actually announced anything yet. So,
yeah, I say there's no way that error cut happens.
I think, like I said, that was strictly one of those, hey, here's this rumor, and I put it on our Instagram.
Oh God, man, I don't mean it like that.
No. But I'm just saying, I think there's a big difference between having say over what's happening with future DC projects versus saying, hey, Zaslav, you bitch, we're gonna air this air cut, and you're gonna like it. I don't think he has any power as to other projects that were prior DC projects. I don't think he has any power at all to say or do anything like that.
He has authority, he and Peter Safran, over anything that DC Studios does.
Right, going forward, but not past.
But they do have the right to put the axe and the kibosh on anything. I mean, if they wanted to say Aquaman 2 is not happening, of course, Zaslav would have final approval, but that's the only person that would.
Right.
Yeah. So, I don't know. Why would you release it? It's not going to make you any more money.
The only way, yeah, because you wouldn't, even if they did release it in the theaters, it'd be a limited release. And actually, you know what? Now that I think about it, that might be something Zaslav might do because, let's be honest, and because we've said it a few times, what's the point in going to watch any of the DC movies that are coming out this year? None.
Well, I don't know. If you look at through the scope of, they all got to be interconnected or whatever, they're never going to go on. We dealt with that before. I mean, we grew up with that.
Right. But I'm just thinking as strictly as Zaslav as a money man. He's like, wait to see what projections are, or we got this Air movie. Give Air not 50 million like Snyder was given. Give him another $5-10 million. Fine tune it however you wanted it. Say this is how you wanted it, and then put it back out. Makes an extra 100 million. It's better than what it originally released at.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see the no, it's just it'd be a very, very, very confusing signal if they did it.
Well,
that would be.
that.
It's one thing to release the movies you have on slate and finish them, but to invest something that's already done in the can and on the shelf, put more money in. When you should have new shit to be worrying about.
Well, that's it. I'm just thinking of Zaslav's in how can I make some more money? And that's just because he's just a money guy. I just think this is one of the few things that he could do to actually bring in to raise up, even a little bit of DC stuff, because not many people are psyched about Aquaman 2. Not many people are psyched about Shazam 2. But an Air cut, and not saying COVID's over, COVID's past, but actually put it in the theater and make a few dimes, I think he might do that.
I'll make a prediction right now on Aquaman 2, though.
Okay.
I say it hits 750 million, if not 800 million.
Ooh, 750.
If not 800. Yeah.
All right. All right. So I'll say 675, and you say if it goes over 675, lunch.
Wait. Isn't it like The Price is Right? We gotta say he was closer.
I'll set the over. So if it goes under 675, hold on, I'll write this down. If it goes under 675, you owe me lunch. If it goes over, I owe you.
Okay.
Remember that, everybody at home who's watching, taking notes.
675 or less. If it goes under 675 or less, so what if it's just 675? Dead even. What do we do? 675 and $675 it's on you. 674.99.99 it's on me. 74.99.99. Is there a niner in there?
Yeah, did I catch a niner in there? All right, Adam, I think that's a good spot. Let's wrap her up.
All right, man.
So thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for Nate for joining us. Go check out Night of Chihuahua's Kickstarter. You have 2 weeks left to go back it. What else is there?
I'm the guy who beat the shit out of the chef from Little Muppets.
Wow. He's Swedish.
Bark! Bark!
Bark, 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 bark.
I would never hurt the Swedish chef. I love him.
Yeah, who doesn't love Swedish meatballs? They're okay. I'm not a big fan.
I know a guy who doesn't love them. You.
Yeah, me.
You might like them. You don't love them.
All right, if you want to go see what we're talking about on the show, go check out our Facebook.
It's your grocer's freezer.
Yes, I have some Italian meatballs. That's what we're here for.
I like Swedish meatballs, but they're too rich.
They're not. I'm not a big meatball guy. I know people are like, "Oh, meatballs." I'm like, I'm all right.
My mother used to cut up sausage and put that into spaghetti.
Oh yeah, that's a win right there.
Yep.
All right. So, but also, if you have not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. It helps us out a lot. If you are a fan of podcasts, go check us out. We are on all the major podcast platforms: Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Audible, and Google Podcasts. Any last words, sir?
Dome arigato, Mr. Roboto. Psh, Masterverse forever.
Domo. Domo. Domo.
Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg.
Good night, America.
America.